Globally, it is a matter of necessity to remove 7% of atmospheric carbon dioxide. If not, the global temperature will exceed 2 degrees centigrade and the impacts will be catastrophic. That will lead to disaster risks. So in this critical situation, the mangroves can provide nature-based solution for climate change mitigation. Global significance of mangroves is expressed by our Honorable Prime Minister by planting mangroves along with the world leaders of G20 recently in the last November in Bali, Indonesia, along with the world leaders. And our recent budget has proposed a scheme called MITSHI, Mangrove Initiative for Shoreline Habitats and Tangible Income for intensive planting of mangroves along the coastline and salt pans. India is now hosting G20 countries. This is a great global honor to India. Mangroves and dinosaurs were born at the same geological time, but dinosaurs disappeared. Mangroves are still thriving. This is because of the remarkable adaptations of mangroves to the changing tidal conditions, high salinity, strong wind, and oxygen deficient soil conditions. The mangroves are called oceanic rainforest, coastal woodland, tidal forest, and root of the sea. Mangroves are carbon-rich forest, and mangroves produce biomass greater than any other aquatic systems on the earth. Mangroves store 4 times greater carbon than other terrestrial ecosystems. So making mangroves indispensable for climate change mitigation. Mangroves protect coastal communities to the impacts of climate change such as sea level rise, storm surges, and coastal erosion. This is because of the green seawall like physical structure, elastic roots above ground, and extensively developed underground cable roots of the mangrove vegetation. Mangroves can reduce the flood disasters. 1 hectare of mangrove can protect 267 people from the threat of the flood. And the value of mangroves in saving the human life is realized in India during 1999 super cyclone and 2004 tsunami. Mangroves protect the groundwater from becoming saline and ensuring the coastal water security. And the mangroves remove the pollution in the coastal environment, converting the toxic heavy metals into sulfides and buried deep into the soil. And the mangroves are the fish factories, providing the critical home to live, eat, and reproduce by crabs, prawn, mollusks, finfish. No mangroves, no prawn. No mangroves, no crab. No forest on land, no fish in the sea. So therefore, mangroves support fishery resources and coastal livelihood. It is proved that the increasing mangrove cover, increasing the fish resources and economic development. And the mangrove forests in India have the highest biodiversity with 5,745 species of plants and animals. No other countries in the world have recorded so many species to be present in the mangrove ecosystems. And India is gifted with the marine plant genetic paradise at Pitharkanika, Odisha. Sundarban in India and Bangladesh put together is the largest single block of the mangrove forest in the world. And Sundarban is the only mangrove tiger kingdom of the world. And the Sundarban support globally threatened wildlife species such as tigers, fishing cats, Gangetic dolphin, Yeshurine crocodile, horseshoe crab, water monitor lizard, and river terrapin. India is the world's largest nesting site for olive ridley turtle nearer to Pitharkanika mangrove forest. At the same time, a vast area of Indian mangroves are under stressful conditions, but still they are luxuriant and extensive in growth and colonization. And the mangroves are of spiritual value, being worshipped in India, especially in Chidambaram. The mangrove tree species is worshipped as a sthalavritsham or temple tree. Mangroves are globally disappearing at the rate of 0.7% per year, whereas in India, the mangrove cover is increasing at the rate of 0.4% per year, in spite of increasing pressures. And this success is due to the efforts taken by Government of India. There are three approaches in this country: promotory, regulatory, and participatory. In the promotory effort of conservation of mangroves, 38 mangrove areas have been identified all along the country, and management action plan is successfully implemented in the 38 mangrove areas. And the regulatory approach, mangroves are legally protected in 31 coastal and marine protected areas. In the participatory approach, the local people are involved in conservation and management of the mangroves. In spite of that, India has a vast area of sparse mangroves with less than 40% mangrove green cover. So in this context, India has proposed a novel technique of canal bank planting in a fishbone model. And this effort, with the participation of local people, has successfully increased the mangrove cover in 90% of the degraded areas in Pichavaram within 16 years, from 1986 to 2002. And India joins with Global Mangrove Alliance, an international initiative, to implement three important goals by 2030. Goal number 1 is to double the protected areas. Goal number 2 is to halt the deforestation of mangroves to zero level, and to restore the recently lost mangrove forest at least 50%. So, being the leader of G20 nations, India has a responsibility of multinationality to be a role model for mangrove management in the race to a net carbon zero world. Let us have a vision to see, bigger to act, heart to care, mangrove nature for the future.